Check one, check two, check three. Are we on? Are we on? Are we on? Are we on? Hey guys, welcome to Sober Talk. Woo! Let's give it a second. Let's give it a second. Let's see what happens here. Let's see if we can get this all right. Hey, how you guys doing? Wow, I am kind of out of quarantine. It's been a tad, it's been a tad hectic at my house. I will be honest with you. I have been struggling. I have been struggling on a couple different fronts here, and I want to make sure. Let's wait till we are live here. Let me make sure that we're on all platforms. So let's see here. We got command new. I'm not sure that we are. So hey, welcome to the show. I not a good few days here. I've been struggling, just sick, sleeping, and my sister is holding my daughter hostage right now because she thinks I have the COVID. And who knows? Maybe I do. I don't know. She's she's convinced that I do have COVID, and I'm getting tested this week because I have some traveling coming up, and I'm going back to my place in Hilton Head where I'll be doing Tom Mabe Sober Talk Unplugged, which is a wonderful, wonderful thing. So it looks like we are live. Let's go. Let's say hi to some folks here. We have Penny Bishop. Hey guys, Mike Reed, Todd Finning. Todd just burped because he's drinking, I guess. Kenny Rice, Tina Labata. Hi Tina, how are you doing? Daryl Hanson. Then we got Bill Malloy. We got Jonathan DeMeo, Timmy Adcock. And the show is going to be kind of loosey goosey tonight because I have not set up many. I haven't. I've got like one person I know for sure I'm calling. But let's just read some comments. What are you guys struggling with? Here's what I'm struggling with. Besides being this sinus thing I got going on. Hey, Tom Day, man, it's so great for us to see you and hear from you. Hey, Carl. Carl, I actually had a little bit of a talk with Carl this morning. Carl, I was not in a good place when I talked with you this morning. Here's what I'm struggling with, guys. I'm going to be totally honest with you. I have a lot of people reaching out to me for help, and I'm all about helping people, and I'm all about whatever I can do, but it's kind of weighing on me, and I'm like, I've been struggling with my sobriety lately because I'm like, I can't take the stress. It's oh my gosh, why can't this person stop drinking, or why can't this And I'm like, I get it, and it's really really hard for me, and I don't want to sound stingy, but I'm pretty selfish right now because I'm only 4 months in. I'm trying to keep it, trying to keep my stuff together. Almost said a curse word. And also trying to help the community here. But you guys got to realize I am just one of you. I am just one of you guys. And when things are going bad at home, or when all my gigs are canceled, and then all of a sudden I don't have a fever, but I'm tired. I can't get out of bed, and I'm thinking I got this god awful disease, virus that's going around. It's just I just don't have it in my brain to always be there for everybody, and I have a lot of people reaching out. And don't always reach out. Reach out to anyone in our community. We have a great support page, or a private group, but man, it is really, really tough sometimes for me to be enthusiastic for your sobriety and maintain my sobriety at the same time. That's about as honest as I can be. It is really, really hard for me. People like, you know, uh, they they need help. They want my help, and I'm like, oh God, I could barely help myself. So, anywho, that's and I just Jeff was on Wednesday night last week. Jeff Graham, my dear friend. It's always a great show when Jeff's in town. And the next day, I started feeling bad. I'm like, I don't have it in me, and the show's gonna, you know, it's gonna just in comparison to the night before, it's gonna be god awful, and fell in comparison. And then Friday, I'm like, I don't feel any better. And I'm like, I took the weekend. I slept all weekend. I didn't come out of my TV room. My daughter and my sister were down at the beach, my place down there. They came home. My sister's like, she's staying with me for a couple days, Tommy. She's staying with me because I'm not convinced that you're not sick. And um, so I just stayed in my TV room for the past few days doing nothing, and it felt good. I binge watched several shows. I binge watched. I'll tell you a show that I really love now is this. It's called Wayne on Prime. Oh my gosh! If you guys haven't watched Wayne on Prime, get off the show now and go watch it. Don't watch Sober Talk. Watch Wayne. So let's read some comments we have. Hey, Tom Mabe, how are you doing, sir? And we're going to get rid of this guy here, and we're just going to ban him from. We're just going to ban him. Sorry, Dan. You're bye. See ya. We don't talk that way in the community here. Thanks for the stream, Tom. Keep up the good work. Um, are you doing so? Katie Bunch, I thought about this past week. I couldn't or wouldn't take on anyone else's sobriety issues or until this is from Katie Bunch. I thought about this past week. I couldn't or wouldn't take on anyone else's sobriety issues on until you or were you be able to help. Please, I myself am a empath and absorb others people struggles, and it can totally take away from the little energy you have to heal yourself. Okay, that's from Katie. Yeah, Katie, that's where I was. I was trying to help everybody else. I'm like, oh, geez, I just want to go to Kroger and get some beer. All right, Gary. Hey, sober for 4 months. All right, Gary, congrats. Harry McLeod, that guy's banned. I'm sorry that you guys had to see that. Let's go over to the Sober Talk page here. And hey, this is going to be this is totally unplugged. This is an impromptu. I don't have any guest lined up. So if you want to talk, Donnie Durbin. Oh my gosh, hello family. Hope all is well. Donnie, I would love to have you on if you are able. I would love to talk with you. Donnie, I'm going to call you. Donnie Durbin, I am going to call you. And if you're able to pick up, pick up. But I understand that you may be chairing some kind of a meeting or something right now, and you just can't. Timmy Adcock, hey Tom, Jonathan DeMayo, Tom is the man, DA, hey DA, hey, brothers and sisters, and Mr. Tom, there, Mike Reed, hi, Benny Bishop, hi, Kenny Rice, hey Kenny Rice, how you doing? And let's go down here. 100 days here. Tina Labate is 100 days. I would love to get your feedback on Tina, Donnie Durbin. She's got a very, very interesting story, and I love what she's doing. There, oh, Gary Adams is here. I got Gary. I do have Gary on standby to talk with us. So maybe I'll take Gary, and we'll wait to hear back from Donnie. And but yeah, man, I'm glad you guys are here. And yeah, it's been a very, very rough few days for me, and both physically and mentally, I have been just drained. I have just been so mentally drained, and I didn't want to do. Oh, hey, Dad. Hey, Josh. Maybe that's my son, Josh. We're flying Josh down to the beach. I'm driving down because I got to take my tools with me. There's a few things I need to fix down there at our place, and then Josh is going to be taking his first solo flight to Hilton Head on his little private Cessna that we bought him for his birthday. Totally teasing. He's going to be flying for the first time by himself on American Airlines. So let's find Gary here. Here comes Gary. All right. Is it going to ring? There we go.
Hello.
Hey, Gary. Tom Mabe here. How you doing, buddy?
What's up, man? I was watching the show, and you said, I'm going to give Gary a call. No sooner you said that, my phone started ringing.
Yeah, there's like a 10-second delay, and Daryl said I could call him, but Daryl, you and I talk about 9 times a day, so I will talk to you soon, my friends. So, yeah, brother, I'm here at the Sober Talk Studios here in Louisville, Kentucky, and Man, between the pandemic and all the shows getting canceled and not feeling really well, I've never struggled this bad. And I don't know if it's a sobriety thing. I don't know what it is. Are you seeing much of that out there? Or what are you seeing out there in the front lines?
Oh, well, I've seen a lot of struggling going on. A lot of people with long-term sobriety have had a lot of struggles with this. You get used to doing your recovery, a certain way. A lot of people go to meetings and stuff, and then when the COVID restrictions first hit back in the spring, a lot of people that were attending these meetings on a regular basis, all of a sudden, that avenue was closed due to the social gathering and social distancing and everything. And I've seen a lot of people struggle. I've seen some people with established sobriety, fall off, and I've seen some relapses. I've seen some people, have some real dark times with it. Something that you were saying there kind of touched on something that I went through when I went through rehab. I'm really empathetic person that feels other people's struggles. I can hear somebody tell them a story, and I can actually, my heart will kind of hurt for them. You know what I'm saying? And when people are struggling or had a loss or their dog died or something, I really feel for people. And that was a struggle for me when I went through recovery, in my early phases of recovery, because in a rehab center, you're going to see a lot of people leave. People just say screw it and they're done. They get there, didn't really want to be there in the first place, and they're looking for an excuse to leave, or they came there with the intent on leaving. And so I would get close with some of these people, some of these guys, and then they would get up and walk out, or they would fail a drug test and get booted out, and that really affected me really hard, especially for, I can remember, going outside the center, and begging a couple of the guys, man, don't leave, man, stick with this, and, going on and on, and they would leave anyway, It really affected me physically. It affected me mentally. I had more than a couple of sleepless nights over it. One morning I commented to my roommate, I said, dude, they're going to think I'm on drugs. I said, because I haven't slept in 2 days. And I had these dark circles under my eyes, and I just couldn't, everything was just
weighs on you. It really weighs on you. And I mean, I got great friends here on Sober Talk, but man, I mean, I'm like, oh, geez, I just can't talk to anyone else about their problems, and I haven't resolved my problems,
Well, and the way that it was put to me by one of the directors, and then other people in my support group that had, long-term sobriety, and my sponsor, is that you can't make someone's recovery your recovery. Your recovery has to be yours and yours alone. And you have to learn to differentiate the two, that you can't save the world. And, at the end of the day, the guy wanting to leave is a grown-ass man and can make his own decisions, and all I can do is wish him the best of luck. I can still care, but I can't let it affect my recovery. It's a fine balancing act, that they'll tell you to get sober or clean, that you have to be selfish, but in order to keep it, you have to give it away.
Right.
So
I just don't know that I'm ready to give it away. I think, I mean, to be honest about it. So you're saying being selfish and then selfless, but, and I started Sober Talk, 30 days in. And it might have been premature. It might have been like, hey, my therapist always asks, how are you doing? I thought, well, I'm doing great, man. She said, I watched the show. She said, it's a great show, but how's it affecting you? And she's thinking that before I do this, I need 20 years of sobriety, and healthiness, and my brain needs to get back to normal. And I'm like, I'm good. But now it's really starting to hit me, plus everything in the freaking world. So
what you're coming off of, what we call in recovery, you're coming off of the pink cloud. It's referred to as a pink cloud because when it's it's the exhilaration of the change of getting sober, and you're getting that part of yourself back that you've lost. And
Right.
and it's actually I did some study on it. It's actually tied to a syndrome called the pink cloud syndrome,
Okay.
which is usually can lead back to a relapse, because when coming off of that pink cloud, there's the inevitable low, because with every high comes a low, and that's I have some with my meeting that I do. I actually have pink cloud chips.
Wow.
And one of the guys in my group wanted to pick up one of the pink cloud chips, and when I explained to him that what the pink cloud was, he didn't want the chip. He handed it back to me and said, "Here, man, you can keep that. I don't want that." It's just the euphoric feeling, and when it does subside, and starting this sober talk, you get a lot of people that inadvertently are going to depend on you, and they're going to look to you for guidance. And
Yeah,
it's
that's
tough.
a lot of stress, man, because I am not I'm in no position to guide anyone. I can barely, take care of myself.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of a tough place to be, and I want to be helpful. I want to be, you know, remember, I don't know if you remember, there was a guy a few weeks ago, so he wanted to jump off a bridge. Not a few weeks, maybe a
Mm-hmm.
couple weeks ago, and we called him Scott, and uh, and Scott tried to do an outpatient at the Brook, and it didn't take. And so his job's like go inpatient. So he went inpatient, and I don't know how long they were going to keep him. This was, and 3 days ago he said, "Hey, I just want to let you know I'm going inpatient. I'm going inpatient." And I'm thinking at least 10 days, maybe 30. In some cases, I hear 90 days. And I looked at that and I call. I'm just having a tough day today, and looked down my caller ID. He's calling me. I'm like, well, he's not in rehab because he's got his phone. And I'm like, and I didn't pick it up. I feel bad. I just didn't pick it up. And
Well,
you know,
there are some rehab facilities that will allow you, once you've gone through detox, that will allow you to have uh, uh, communication devices, cell phones.
okay, okay,
Some of them will, some of them won't. It just depends on what particular program that you're in. He could have, he very well could have left. A lot of people struggle with getting it. And that can be that's the cunning, baffling, powerful part of addiction.
right,
It's I've known a guy that's been in and out of rehab. Let's see here, December 18th, I'll have 2.5 years in.
okay,
And I've seen this guy went through when I went through in 2018, in the summer 2018, and he has been in and out of rehab probably 9 times.
wow,
He's an older fella, and he is a hardcore alcoholic, and he drinks till he's homeless, and he winds up back
he.
in recovery.
Let me
And
just
then
what you just said. You said he drinks until he's homeless.
mhm.
Wow, that's pretty. This I can't pay my bills. They're kicking me out, but I can't fix it because I'm drunk.
No,
Wow.
no, no, no. It's worse than that. He
Okay.
doesn't drink till he can't pay his bills. He drinks and leaves everything and walks away from it and goes and just drinks, and that's it.
He just
I mean,
forfeits all of his belongings and go. I'm out of here.
yep, I'm
Wow.
done. I'm gonna go drink. I'm going on a binge, and then he's back to rehab, then back to rehab, then back to rehab. And it breaks my heart. I got close with him, and it breaks my heart every time I see it happen. And he was in recovery again within the last month, and about 3 weeks ago he left, and he's back again after a 2-week bender. And that's really tough. It's
Yes.
tough. It's tough because I love him, but there in itself, I have to draw a line. He's a grown ass man. He's going to do what he's going to do. I still love him, and I'm still there for him, but I have to love him from where I am. I just, I can't make your struggle my struggle. His struggle is his own, and he owns it. And, I've talked with him several times. You know, when's enough going to be enough, man? And each time he's so serious about it and so earnest. But 60, 80 days, he's gone again. And just when you think he's got it, he just, that's the baffling part of it.
Wow.
It's enough to make you throw your hands up. And I struggle with it. I still struggle with it to this day, even, and I run I chair a group every Thursday night, and I see it constantly, and my heart hurts for these guys. And I've probably in the last 2 years, about a dozen people I've known have gone out and not made it back. They've died.
Jeez.
And they thought they had another one in them, and it's not the way it works. The powerful part of addiction is when usually when someone relapses, we tend to pick up right where we left off, and now you've got this sober time and clean time in, and you're going to go back to the way you were hitting it when you were running full steam, and it destroys you, and it destroys you quickly.
Yeah. I mean, I thought this week, I felt like a total, again, I was under the weather, but both mentally and physically. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And today I said, I got to do it. I can't go 3 days without doing sober talk because I skipped Thursday and Friday. But I was done. I was, here's David Vernazzi saying, day 4, funeral was a day. I handled it very well. I'm home cooking dinner and not drinking. I love David, but when he calls me and tells me his father-in-law died, I'm like, yeah, I got enough problems. I feel like a total wienerhead for saying that. But man, I get these calls and these texts and these emails back to, this is not a pity party about me. I'm just saying I'm not strong enough yet to be able to. So I want to apologize to everybody. And maybe when I'm over this whole funk and sinus infection or whatever I got going on, maybe it's the virus. I don't know. I'm getting tested this week so I can travel. But Gary, did I just sound like a total wienerhead just then, telling people that?
No, you're in the early stages of recovery still, and you're going to have those struggles, especially doing with what you're doing. It just, you just need to be able to differentiate, between the two.
Right. And let me make this clear. David's helped me a lot too. So everyone's helped me. It's just that sometimes when I feel like I'm obligated to help back, I don't have it in me. So here's Joel Southwick. I'm just going to read a comment here. Gary says, remember, Tom, a week or so ago, I commented that people who do what you are doing out of the kindness of your heart and for your own sobriety, study and intern for years to be able to not internalize their patients' problems and whatnot. You have to go take care of yourself. So he's saying there's like counselors and therapists out there who study years and years and not take. I got to thinking about my own therapist. She hears all these god awful problems every day. How does she turn it off? How does she go home? Is it like me and you with stage fright going up there? How do you not get stage fright every time? I don't know. But anywho, so enough talking about my issues with that. But that's just been, and maybe that's just the addiction, trying to find an excuse, trying to find a reason to drink. You know what I mean? Maybe I'm just looking for something. Cunning, baffling, and powerful. Yes.
It will use any excuse that it can, anything that it can. My addiction has been trying to wear me down and tell me that now that I'm 2.5 years away, that I really didn't. It's not that bad. It wasn't that bad. Yeah, bullshit. It wasn't that bad. I know it was that bad.
I'm cured, man. I'm okay.
No, I'm not, and I never will be. And my addiction wants to kind of desensitize it to where man, things weren't that bad. Oh, bullshit, they weren't.
No, dude, they were. Yeah, I wish we could ever. And again, David is kind of. I could tell that David. David says, Tom, that's why I always text you to make sure you're okay. A real good way to hold each other accountable. You're right, David. I'm just saying. Not you, but you and 60 other people at once was weighing on me, and I was using it as an excuse to to fall off the wagon, which I didn't. But I'm just saying. So David, don't take this personally by so. So how you been, Gary? Is the weather changing? The time change? Are you in a weird space at all nowadays? Anywhere? Anyway? Anyhow?
You and I have talked on a personal level, with what I've got going on as far as for what I'm preparing for with my career and everything.
Right.
And I'm just basically just taking it. I'm going to sound like a walking cliche. I'm taking it one day at a time, 24 hours at a time, and just trying to pray and meditate and keep my head in the game. Realizing that nothing is forever, and that things will be where God will have me where He needs for me to be. And I've struggled with some really long hours here as of lately, and struggled with some really frustrating aspects of my job. Really had some pretty tough struggles there. But at the end of the day, I talked to Donnie. He's one of my really good friends. And I kind of a couple of weeks ago, I voiced some stuff and some concerns of mine in the day that I had. And he listened to it and listened to me kind of vent. And he said, "No, that's all good." He said, "No, you got it all off your chest." He said, "Let me ask you something." He said, "Are you going to take a drink over it?" And I said, "Excuse me?" He said, "You heard me." He said, "Are you going to go take a drink over it?" And I said, "No." He said, "Then what the fuck does it matter?" And I was like, "You know what? You're right. You're right. And thanks for the pep talk." And that's all I needed. You're right. I'm not. And what does it matter? At the end of the day, what does it matter? If it's not going to force me into it, if I'm not going to drink over it, then why am I letting it get a hold of me, and why am I giving it the power? And that's, I was kind of like, man, I appreciate it. And pretty much that was the end of the conversation. I was like, well, you know what, Donnie, thanks, man. I love you, brother. I'll talk to you later, but I've been doing really good, just moving forward, staying focused, staying busy, keeping busy with my music. Of course, here in Kentucky, we're getting our COVID restrictions on again. And,
he really hates the bars and the restaurants. That's pretty crazy. But anyway.
It puts the mask on its skin, or it gets the shutdown again. Man,
I had a gig I was looking forward to. Once a year, I do a week at the Comedy Caravan. I don't do many comedy clubs, but once a year, I do a gig at the Caravan. And I had a gig at a theater right outside of Cincinnati, but it was on the Kentucky side. And we promoted this thing, and it was sold out. We're so excited, and it got canceled. So it is what it is, but it is very frustrating, and it is, when you have when you're doing creative banking and creative math and everything, just to keep everything above, water. It's tough, but it's affecting everyone, and it is what it is, and that's what we have to realize. And I feel better that you said that, even people who've had sobriety, many, many years of sobriety are being challenged in these challenging times. So that does make me feel better. But man, I got to get some better. My coper's broken, Gary. My coper is just broken, and I have to fix some things in my life and in my head. My brain juices are still whacked out, and maybe all the Dayquil and Nyquil that I'm taking, but man, not in the best place. But man, I know that you came on last minute, and I appreciate you doing that, and I feel like a real just wow. But
now, just since we've been talking, how do you feel? How do you feel now? How do you feel about it now?
I feel just talking about it, because I feel so much better talking about it, because like you've told me before, is that when you talk, the hold on it kind of gets looser.
It takes the power. It takes the power out of it.
It takes the power out of it. Yeah. But man,
when you can throw it out there, it's like you're exposing it. And addiction doesn't like to be exposed.
Right.
It really doesn't.
Yeah.
I mean, and when we can talk about it, when I go down, I can have a really crappy ass day, and then I can go down to a meeting on Thursdays for my group, And when I walk through detox, all of a sudden I don't remember my crappy day's gone because
Now tell us
I
about that
could be one of
because
those.
the people at home they don't know what you're talking about. So you go through a building to get to your meeting, and you get to see
Where
people. Explain, paint us a picture there.
Okay, I go to a facility that houses. It's a quite a large facility, and there's about 4 to 5 different programs in this facility. And when I come in, there is a detox unit with about 30 beds in it, and it's kind of an open concept room, and it's where you will come in and you will detox from alcohol and from opiates and drugs. And while you're there, it's really quiet in there. It's not really loud. At night the lights are turned down. It's really quiet, and it's a place for you to begin your journey to recovery. And this is and you can. It's got a big bank of bathrooms. Like one bathroom's got some showers and toilets and everything in it, and sinks. And you really can see, somebody that's homeless has come in, addicted to alcohol or drugs or heroin. And, there's a lot of people in there sleeping, and there are a lot of people that pacing around, trying to get better,
Right.
to get that initial detox. And this is a non-medically supervised detox, so it's really raw.
Oh,
Really
so
rough.
they're not getting any kind of medicine to help them detox. They're like Ray Charles in that movie. They're just gonna white knuckle it and wow,
Tough it out. And if
wow,
need be, you'll need to call an ambulance and come get someone. What I'm saying, if that's what needs to be happens. If it gets to that point. The
wow.
detox facility that I went through was medically supervised.
Okay.
It was what you would call MAT. It was medically assisted treatment, going through the detox phase, and then I moved into a facility that was non-medical. My continued rehab and IOP, and when I was in the facility was actually non-medically assisted. So at that point, if you needed to go to the doctor, you had to make a doctor's appointment and had to go see a doctor. Or if you had some kind of medical emergency, then you needed to call EMS and have the ambulance come get you.
Gotcha. So
So
you get to see see that. Wow.
When I go through that detox, I see guys that are in a lot worse shape than me, but that are brave enough to try to stick it out. And when I see that, no matter what kind of day I have, it takes me back to when I went to detox and the shape that I was in when I got there. My first night in detox, my heart rate was 190 beats a minute. The first night
How's that even possible?
In detox. To be honest with you, Tom, I thought I was going to die.
Jeez.
I didn't think I was going to make it that night. And I had 2 seizures while I was in detox and a small mini stroke while I was in there too.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it was tough, man. I was pretty far gone on the alcohol, man. I had taken it to the brink.
Wow.
I took it about as far as it was physically possible to take it for me.
Wow. Well, brother, thank you for picking up. I'm going to call your friend here in a minute, Donnie Durbin, here in a second, and
I love you, brother, man. And you and I had talked last week, and then Donnie was supposed to chair a meeting for me Thursday night, Thursday, because I told my story in my meeting. And
Donnie took off to be in a meeting with me, and I called him. I said, I can't do it tonight. I'm sorry.
And that's I called Donnie on my way home, or actually I sent Donnie a text on my way home from the meeting to let him know how mine went and ask him how his went. With you.
Mm-hmm.
And he said that you didn't have it, and you and I had talked earlier in the week, and we had discussed, the every other day aspect, to the Monday, Wednesday, Friday kind of deal. And I'm like, so he didn't have it tonight, and then Friday you didn't have it. So when you called me earlier today, I was ready to hear from you. If you hadn't called me, I was ready to hear from you.
Yeah, you
Just
thought the
kind of
worst
check
case
up.
scenario. Yeah. Well, thank you for
No,
being there.
I didn't think the worst case scenario. I just wanted to make sure I checked in on you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, no,
I wouldn't have
I
started
knew
thinking real bad.
for well, it just you don't go 2 or 3 days without hearing from me. I'm always on. You know, I mean, I'm always doing this, but it just between and I don't know. I may have the Rona. I don't know. I feel better today, but I mean, all weekend I was in bed. I was in the TV room in the recliner, just kicked back with a big blanket and chicken noodle soup all weekend. So, all right, brother. Well, thank you so much. I'll talk with you soon.
All right, Tom, be good, brother. Love you, man.
Love you too, man. Thanks, Gary.
All right, bye.
That's our good friend Gary Adams. Yeah, just we're going to real quick before I call Donnie Durbin. I'm going to call my friend Al real fast to touch base with him. Just real quick, a real quick call. We haven't talked to Al in a while. Al is
Hello.
hey Al, Tom Mabe, Sober Talk. How are you?
Hey, Tom. How's it going?
Man, it's going good. I feel better. I just got off like a 25-minute call with Gary Adams. He's a regular on the show, and kind of my pseudo sponsor. I'm not really working the steps as hard and as much as I should be because I've been kind of. But anyway, I just had a good bitch fest with him about a good pity party with Gary. It's just been, man, I got to tell you, this has been one. I had a great show Wednesday night. Had Jeff Graham came in, and we had an incredible show Wednesday night. And it's always good when I have another person in the studio with me. And Thursday night, I was going to do the show, and I'm not doing it. I don't feel good. And I spent all weekend in bed or on the recliner in front of the TV. Not sure that I haven't been tested yet, but we're going to be tested this week to see if
Mhm.
maybe I am carrying the virus. But yeah, man, mentally and physically, I've just been kind of out of whack all the past few days. So how are you doing?
Yeah, not too bad. I mean, I think that's sort of par for the course this time of year. You know, the time changes, it gets darker, it gets colder, sort of a little bit more depressing in some respects. Especially with the virus going around. But yeah, I'm doing okay. Still hanging in there. As far as working the steps goes, I try to stay consistent, but I don't always. I mean, there's days when I don't do anything and feel like I should, and I'm just too tired to do it.
Are you
To
getting
not,
away when you say there's days you don't do anything? Are you getting away from your meditation that you were pretty regimented?
I'm still doing something pretty much every day.
Okay.
As far as so I try to do something for recovery every day. If it's just simple, quick meditation or going through the daily reflections or something, nightly reviews, I try to stay consistent on. There are a couple of nights where I'm like, I fall asleep and I wake up like, I just can't do it, and try to do
And your
something in the
daily
morning.
reflections, is that a AA thing?
Yeah, it's a specific AA literature book. You can get it online too.
Yeah.
Um,
I just kind of want people who didn't know what that was. Is this where you go through the day and you kind of take inventory of good things you've done and bad
no,
things that you've.
no, daily reflection is like a little meditation for the day, like a little reading. That they have one every day, and so it's a little reading that you typically read in the morning. A lot of sometimes groups read it before the AA meeting, but it's just the daily reflections. It's a book. You can go on the AA website and it has it right there where you can click on it and then you
I
can
got it.
see
Yeah.
like for
I,
example what's today? November the 23rd.
hold
And
your
it read
face to the light. Believe
yeah,
more deeply. Hold your face up to the light. And it says, even though for the moment you do not see. One Sunday in
yeah,
October during my morning meditation, I glanced out the window at the ash tree in our front yard. At once I was overwhelmed by its magnificent golden color as I stared at in awe God's work of art. So this goes, this is the daily reflection. So yeah, this is how
yeah,
out of tune I am with this because I've got this spiritual toolkit that takes you over to the AA site as well, AA.org. And I had to ask you what it was. That's how long it's been since I've looked at the daily reflection. I had to
yeah.
ask you. So that's not the inventory that you do at night. That's something different. So.
No, the inventory is typically from like the 11th step. And of course, in the big book of Alcoholics Anonymous, there's
it's like page 82 or 84 or something like that, where it talks about, what you do in the morning. You wake up, you think about the day ahead of you, 24 hours ahead, and what you're supposed to do about, how to get through the day. And then at night, it talks about, what you do at night. Before you retire at night, you go through your day, and where were you angry, resentful, dishonest, did you keep a secret, were you unloving, those kind of things, and just review how your day went. And the purpose of that is to try to carry, improvements into the next day.
Gotcha.
And sometimes, I told you before, going through a separation and divorce, sometimes my resentment is my wife, like 30 days in a row. I put something about that every single day for 30 days or something. So
I see.
But yeah. So, but I try to stay involved to a certain extent. But do I do everything every single day now?
Okay. Well, man, I just haven't heard your voice in a while, and I reached out to you. I didn't really have anything planned for tonight. I've been out of sorts. I've been, like I said, mentally and physically. I've just been vegging out, watching Netflix for a few days, and I was just tired, man. I gotta tell you, Thursday and Friday, I was ready to throw in the towel. Like, the sobriety's been good, but no, I can't do it any longer. I'm depressed. And like the weather's changing, then our heat goes out in the house.
Yeah.
The heat, had to get the furnace guy over tonight before I came here. And it was just cold. It was just, I was just like, God, I was just not mad at the world, but just not happy. Just like just like I had a nagging toothache for the past few days.
Oh yeah, remember what I told you a couple months ago? This too shall pass. Remember?
Oh yeah, when I was feeling good, you go, hey, this will pass.
When you're feeling good, hey, this will pass. Get ready.
Yes, that's right, and it did pass.
Yeah.
And you reminded me.
But I think this time of year, it's not, man. Like I said, it's cold. It gets dark. The energy. I mean, my energy gets sucked away from me about 4 o'clock. It starts to feel like it's getting dark, and
oh yeah.
So.
Yeah. Wake up, it's dark, and go to, it's always dark. It seems like this time of year, and it's. I'm going to get a little beach therapy next week. I think hey, I may be driving through your town again. Maybe we can have coffee once more.
Yeah, that'd be great. I'll be around.
No, that'd be great. And everything else is good with you, family, and everybody's good.
Yeah, we're all doing well. Like I said, it's just getting ready for the holidays and all that. And
are you guys closed down? Is the state on lockdown where you're at?
No, I mean, we're open for the most part. There's been some talk about, schools may not go back after Thanksgiving. That's just sort of a rumor right now.
Okay.
But no, we're not locked down. Mask mandates and stuff like that.
Okay.
Is something that everybody's doing.
All right, brother. I'm gonna make one more here, and if you're around a computer, check out Donnie Durbin coming up. He's always a good talk. So, all right, buddy. Thanks, Al. I appreciate you.
Okay, Tom. Well, thanks. Thanks for taking my call or email.
Yeah, well, you took my call, so thank you. So, all right. I'll talk to you in a little bit.
Thanks.
Bye.
All right, bye.
All right. So, guys, this has turned into a little bit of a good little sober talk, and I didn't have anyone planned out, but while I was here talking, I'm just texting people, like, can you go on? Can you go on? So it's a good thing. So let's call Donnie Durbin here. And listen, Donnie's he's always on fire. So let's check it out.
Hello.
Hey, Donnie Durbin. How are you, Tom? Sober Talk, buddy.
Hi, Tom.
How are you?
How you doing, buddy? I'm great. I'm good.
I'm glad you're good. I've been struggling. I'm not gonna lie. I've just been mentally and physically. I've just been out of sorts.
Well, that happens, bud. That happens. Not every day is peaches and cream.
Yeah. Well, I've had a few days of nowhere near peaches and creams. I gotta tell you.
Yeah, some days the best I can do, man, is just not put one in me. That's the best thing I did all day. Sometimes I don't even want to get out of bed. I feel bad, I feel terrible, but I do. That's the only thing I do perfect in my life is I don't put one in me. No matter what, no matter how I feel.
No, that's a good way of putting it. You know, no matter how bad, crappy my day was, I didn't drink. So
Yeah,
that's a great way to look at it.
that's it. And we keep it moving forward. You know, God. I don't know if we can talk about God, but
Yeah, we
I
talk
like
about God.
God.
He's cool. I used to go to
Yeah,
school with
man,
this
I
kid.
love him.
Yeah, he's cool. I like him.
That's good stuff.
Yeah.
He only promises us life. He don't promise me I'm going to be happy for every day of my life. He don't promise me I'm going to be sad every day of my life. But he does promise me life. It's my responsibility to make myself happy or make myself sad. And I've definitely made myself sad a lot of years.
Wow. Wow. That's.
So now I'm going out of my way to make myself happy.
And what do you do to make yourself happy?
What do I do to make myself happy, man? I do. Y'all know I do AA. You know, because when I showed up in the rooms, I told you a little bit about my life. You know, I've been in jail 46 times. You know, three and a half years ago, a little bit closer to 4 years ago, I lived under a bridge, man, homeless. Gave away everything I ever loved, everything I've ever earned. I gave up a job at Ford Motor Company, gave it away, man, because of the restless, irritable discontent. I couldn't live in my own body, and I didn't know. And the only thing I knew to get out of the way I felt was drink.
Yes, amen. That's where I've been.
And then I washed up into the rooms. I came into treatment, the homeless shelter / recovery in handcuffs, man. And they gave me a bed, you know, they gave me a place to sleep, they gave me some food, and then they started talking about me. I thought, you know, they started talking about people and I hear stories about recovery, people's stories and stuff, and I was like, damn, these people are just like me. I thought I was the only person in the world that suffered from anxiety and depression and all that. But that's what restless, irritable discontent is anxiety, depression, stress, anger, etc. That's what that is. I've suffered from depression all my life.
Do you take anything for it, or is it just AA now?
AA, that's what I take.
No Prozac or Lexapro, nothing like that.
Complete abstinence. But, you know, all my life, like when I worked at Ford, I had real good insurance, and I would go to the doctors that they send me to, and they would say, Donnie, you suffer from depression. They'd give me a pill.
Yeah.
But for me, I need that quick fix.
Yeah.
That pill takes too long for me to get the way I feel, because I've already trained my mind at 9 years old that from restless, irritable discontent, if I put a drink in me, that'll go away for a little bit, and then my brain knows that, and I've drank alcoholically for the next 35 years. But when I started doing AA and got me a sponsor, and you know, I got a guy. I'm gonna tell you a story. Is it okay?
Yes, bring it on, baby.
I have a friend right now that I'm really trying to help, man. His mom. I went to school with his mom.
Okay.
And he grew up in the same neighborhood I grew up. So when I was like 30 years old, and he was 13, I was buying this young man alcohol and getting him drunk, and I feel terrible for it, man. And well, anyways, I went to his high school because I was homeless, but I was homeless then, and I didn't care about nothing. And so his mom ended up committing suicide in his backyard, and he suffered from that. And now he's experiencing, he can't stop drinking. I've tried to help him several times, but now he's putting out the word that he's going to kill himself. And that's who I've been talking to all night long, and I'm trying to do everything in my power to help the young man. But at the end of the day, only thing I can share with him is some experience, strength, and hope. We can't save the world. I wish,
Yeah.
But I could just be there for him, and we can't make somebody stay sober. That's not our job. Our job is to show them some experience, strength, and hope, and let them see how our lives has changed, and maybe they want that. And if that person's had enough pain, if you've had enough pain, you've had that just right ass whooping, you don't want to get sober. And until then, you're just going to keep doing what you do.
Wow.
And that's just the way it is. And I work in treatment, and I see it every single day myself, man. And I try to help them, but if the person's not ready, There's the only thing you tell us, we'll be here when you're ready, bud. I'll be sitting out here waiting for you.
I've noticed that over the years, and I've talked to my friends in treatment or in recovery and AA, and they never pushed it. They never pushed. They were like, oh yeah,
No.
you're not ready. Whenever you're ready, you were here. And
Yep.
that's but I gotta tell you, my restless, irritable discontent has been on fire. My brain has had that, that team of hot shot lawyers telling me it's okay to drink. Dude, you're okay. Just take a freaking, you're miserable right now. Freaking go buy a beer. Have one
Yeah.
beer.
That's what our brain does to us, Tom. Our minds lie to us. It's an illusion. Can I read something to you?
Yes, please do.
It's on page 30 of Alcoholics Anonymous Big Book. It says, most of us have been unwilling to admit we were real alcoholics. No person likes to think he is bodily and mentally different from his fellows. Therefore, it is not surprising that our drinking careers have been characterized by countless vain attempts to prove we could drink like other people. The idea that somehow, someday, he will control and enjoy his drinking is the great obsession of every abnormal drinker. The persistence of this illusion is astonishing. Many pursue it into the gates of insanity or death. And that's me, man. Yeah, man. That's why you need to get through them steps, man, as quick as you can. Especially that 4-step, man. Get all that shit on paper, man. Yeah, when I worked that 4-step, man, and dropped that 5th step with my sponsor, I got so much relief. I remember taking this big sigh of relief because God forgives us, bro. He forgives us. And we carry all that. That's what we do. We and especially as men, we keep putting all that pain and stuff. We just keep pushing it down inside of us because we're trying to make some of our lives, still trying to do the right thing, trying to be husbands, fathers, employers, all that stuff. And we just keep pushing that pain down further and further and further. And it's building up. And we drink over it. But when you work the 12 steps, you work them 12 steps, and when you get that 5th step and you drop all that, you put it all on paper on the 4th, and you drop it with your sponsor on that 5th step, God removes all that, man. He removes it. I didn't believe it.
Man,
I didn't believe that. I didn't believe it. I didn't want it. I said, but I was so desperate at that time in my life, I would have done anything they told me to do. Yeah, but I wasn't sold on the idea of these 12 steps. But a miracle happened.
Yeah. You have kids, Donnie?
Yeah, I got kids. I got a son.
Are you a good dad? You have a relationship with your son?
I do not have. I lost custody. That was one of the things I told you earlier. When I lost everything I ever loved, I lost everything I ever earned. I lost custody of my son when he was 9 years old, man, and I still chose alcohol. I suffer from it today. But I'm in the process of trying to mend that relationship, man. He's got so much anger, towards me and stuff, and it hurts. But he does know that I'm sober today, and that's part of my story. It's part of my message to help people that early in sobriety is let them know that I've done that for you, man. This is what's going to happen to you if you don't follow some directions. I lost everything I've ever loved, everything I've ever earned.
Yeah, I'm hoping to get a better relationship with my kids. My kids love me. I mean, I still pay for their schools and their books and their cars and everything. But I'm not the best dad. I'm hiding up in the TV room because I get too nervous and I fly off the handle. So I try to I try to protect my kids from me and just stay out of the way. Before I lose my temper.
I definitely understand that. And what the 12 steps is for me, man, is that inner peace, man. And I can rebuild. I'm rebuilding my life, man. I have an amazing life today, man. Like my son, he's got a lot of anger towards me, still a lot of animosity, but he's starting to come around. He's starting to realize that hey, he's sober. And he's trying to do the right thing. Because a lot of people don't understand this disease that we have, man. They don't understand it. A lot of people, especially if you're rich, or if you got a lot of money and you got a good job and stuff, people are like, man, you got everything. Why don't you just stop?
Yeah, right.
I didn't say, well, I'm gonna build me a big gigantic house and have all these cars and this good job and this beautiful wife and kids just to give it all away. I wish I could have stopped, man, but I didn't know how. And I have tried every loophole there is. There isn't. I've tried every single loophole around be able to do what I do and be successful at it, man, with zero results. The only thing that's ever worked for me, man, is the AA, the 12 steps of Alcoholics Anonymous. I've tried everything there is. I've tried prescription drugs. I've tried drinking them while I just smoke pot.
Mm-hmm.
That didn't work because we always go back and get what we really want at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Which is whatever your drug of choice is. If it's alcohol, if you smoke some weed, it stops working after a while. Then you're going to go get what you really want because your mind does it to you.
Wow.
Yeah, but man, I'm desperate. I'm desperate today. I'm almost 4 years sober, and I'm just as desperate today for my sobriety as I was at day one, man. Because I'm getting the results. I continue to do the work. My sponsor told me earlier, if you do the work, you'll get the results. If you don't do the work, you'll get the same old results. And I'm 50 years old. I've gotten the same old results for the last 35 years. So I've done something different. Go ahead.
I just got a question from Joel Southwick. He says, Tom, invasive question. How do your kids feel about you doing sober talk?
He said what?
He said, how do your kids feel about you doing sober talk? This is a question to me. He says, Tom, invasive question. How do your kids feel about you doing sober talk? Well, I guess if I wasn't old and secure, they probably, I don't know. I guess they don't mind it. My son said he wants to come on and be a guest. Can you imagine that?
I think it'd be pretty cool myself.
Oh.
But you know, Tom, all them lavish gifts and stuff that we try to buy our kids, and all them, we buy them anything they really want in life and everything, and we spoil them rotten and everything. And really, that shit don't mean nothing, man. What they really want is just us to love them and do things.
Yeah, I love my kids. My patience, my like I said, my coper's broken, and I have my wick is very short. I go off really, and I kind of like.
You know what that is?
What's that?
Restless, irritable, and discontent. Irritable.
I'm irritable. Oh, dude, I wake up irritable. I go to bed irritable. I just please. Can something come out of my mouth? Like, I just woke up. Give me a second. I wish there was something that was just a.
You know what the 12 steps promises us?
What's that?
The mental obsession will be removed, and then once you remove that mental obsession, guess what gets also removed? Restless, irritable, and discontent. And then and it's called spiritual awakening. You become happy, joyous, and free. And then you will continue to have spiritual awakenings in life, man. You don't just have one spiritual awakening by working the 12 steps. You continue having spiritual awakenings because things start getting back in your life. You start being happy. You feel it.
I want it.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful thing. It's nothing to lose. It's all to gain. Nothing to lose.
Boy, you got a lot of fans in here, Donnie. Everybody.
Man, I've worked that 4-step several times. Several
it's
times.
not like a one and done. You do it. The 4-step.
No.
Tell it real quick before we got to go because we got 2 minutes. What is the 4th step? Tell people who aren't in
personal inventory.
Personal inventory.
It's a personal inventory. You're going to write down everything in your life, the people that you've harmed, your sex conduct, your resentments, and your fears. In each one of them categories, you have 4 columns in each one of them. And then the very last column is going to say at the top, what part did you play in it? Because see, as an alcoholic myself, I'm very selfish, and I live in self-pity, and I'm very self-centeredness. I think that it's all about me. I want people to feel sorry for me, man, because I'm an alcoholic. Man, I'm an alcoholic. I lost a $500,000 house, man. You feel sorry for me? Let's get drunk.
I just bought a car that cost $500,000. Go ahead. I'm teasing. I'm totally teasing.
I love you, man. I love you, buddy.
I drive an old truck. I'm teasing. So,
we all know you got money.
No,
we all know you got long money.
I don't. You know what? I'm not happy, and I don't have money. But I do. I have had the nice things. I've had the Porsche 911, the beach house. I've had everything, and I'm still trying to find a way to be happy, and I'm just not freaking happy.
Okay, let me say this to you, Tom. You know, you got all them nice things, but guess what? I got one thing you ain't got that you need:
What's that?
inner peace.
Inner peace. Boy, what I would do for some inner peace right now.
Work the 12 steps,
Well, I'm
and
trying. I
then
know.
you will have it.
I want to. I want to. I am doing this. I'm doing sober talk, and I'm doing the steps in AA because I want to do that. And Donnie, I half-ass everything. I work. I only work as much as I have to work to get the things I want and to pay the things I need to pay. But I never. I want to get that inner peace that you were talking about, and I'm.
Well,
Huh. And yeah. So
Tom, I worked them 12 steps in 4 months because I was in so much pain. My sponsor said, we need to get you that 4-step, drop that 5th step as soon as possible because I was in so much pain, man. I was suicidal. I didn't want to live in my body no more. And I got that relief that I needed, man. And I was able to continue on. In my life today, man, life still shows up, but man, I don't get angry no more. I'm happy. I'm free. I'm free of
I would
myself.
love to be there. I wake up pissed off. I'm swinging
Well,
mad.
Well, let me tell you this: if you need any help with them, feel free to reach out to me, bud, because I'll help you all I can.
I will. Gary's getting busy, you know. Gary's working overtime, so I may have to use both of you guys on this one.
Well, I'll tell you, but I'll tell you now, I'm pretty stern. I'm pretty stern.
Are you old school? Are you old school?
I will hold your ass accountable.
Well,
I'll definitely hold you accountable. Because, John, the reality is this is a life or death situation you're in, man, that we are in.
No.
This is 100% fatal.
No, I get it.
100% fatal. And especially people that does, I work in treatment, and the people that does other stuff, it could be the next time. It's like taking a gun and putting it in your mouth every time you put something in your body. And alcoholism, man, you is a slow, torturing death. I know people that went into motels by themselves on alcohol just to detox themselves out and seizured out and died.
There's a comedian, very famous, Greg Girardo. Greg was sober for many, 20-something years. And he was a stern. You see him, he's always on Greg was always on the roast, the celebrity roast and stuff. And he thought he would go out one time, and he died in a motel room.
Yeah, probably 100% fatal.
Yeah,
100% fatal. I choose to live.
I got so many comedy buddies who died of overdoses and alcoholism. And I don't want to be that guy, but I tell you what, I got to get rid of this self-pity and this guilt that I carry around. It's so freaking bad.
Yeah, I feel you, bro. I know that feeling. I know that feeling. I was going to say something to you just now, and I forgot what I was going to say. No big deal. I'm sure you'll have me back on again.
Well, you can call me too after the show if you think of it. So, but well, Donnie, thanks for you rock it out every time we have you on. I love you, man. You're really
absolutely, man. Absolutely. I love you, Tom, and I love your people that's on here, man. And if anybody ever needs any help or just needs a friend or want to reach out, feel free to give them my number, man. I'm here to talk, help, do whatever I can do to help, man, because we do recover.
All right, brother. Thank you. I appreciate you. We'll talk to you soon.
All right. Thanks, Tom.
Thank you.
Bye.
Well, guys, thanks for watching another episode of Sober Talk. You're watching because you want to get sober. You need to get sober. Perhaps you're just sober curious for whatever reason. I'm glad you tuned in. And yeah, man, we're here because we got a drinking problem. And how do we know we got a drinking problem? Because it causes problems. Thanks for letting me be off kilter for a few days. I am back. We may adjust the schedule a tad. We may do like 2 or 3 sober talks a week, and then like Daryl Hanson was saying, maybe we'll do a couple of Zoom meetings. That would be kind of cool. We're trying to figure it out, but I think every night may be a tad hard on me, but we will get it there. I love you guys. Thank you so much. Appreciate you. I didn't mean to hit that button. Thanks, guys. We'll see you tomorrow night, and hopefully Jeff Graham will be joining us. So, all right, we'll see you. Bye.